All right, now we're getting down to the meat and potatoes of the game. This is what gets everybody really amped and really geeked. Cargo, moving cargo, making money selling cargo. That's what we're talking about in this particular video. Well, this is the first part. So, transportation, of course, naturally will entail moving cargo from point A to point B. Now, cargo can be attained either through missions or by buying it on the market, transporting it to another area, and then selling it at a markup. Because you could do that. Um, but there are so many really cool transport ships available in game that you can use, and some surprising cargo ships that can actually get the job done. Uh, that's you. Honestly, in these kind of ships, you wouldn't really consider cargo. Just say like the Titan. I mean, even though it's built like a cargo ship, it's an Avenger. It's a it's a fighter first, but it can still run cargo. You can also get the freelancer or the freelancer max. Either one of those carry a lot of cargo. So I mean, it's just a really big deal about cargo. How the mechanics are going to play out eventually, I honestly don't know. But getting hold of stuff like this, the cargo containers, say for the whole B shown here, or loose stuff that come out, say from a wreckage. Say you blow somebody's ship up and cargo blows out all over the place, and so you go EVA and you gather it and put it into your ship. Maybe you have a Cutlass Black, or maybe you got a Hornet. Even a Hornet can carry a little bit of cargo, and you could just take it to someplace else. You could sell it on the black market, maybe. Yeah, of course you could do that. But the whole cargo game, I mean, I think there may be missions that specifically focus in on moving cargo. Say they may, if you have a specialized cargo ship, say like a Hull or a Taurus, and a mission opens up for you, you have to move a large amount of product from one settlement or outpost and send it back someplace, and ship it someplace else. And then they pay you a premium for, delivery of said product. I think there'll be plenty of missions for that. In fact, there is one or two missions like that in the current PTU 3.0, where you actually pick up a parcel and you drop it off someplace else and they pay you a small stipend for it. So cargo is, I think, is going to be the backbone uh, of the commerce in Star Citizen. I think moving cargo, moving products around, that's really going to build up the economy in Star Citizen. It's really going to fill a lot of pockets for a lot of citizens, namely yours truly, because that's how I plan on making my money for my exploration expeditions. I think getting cargo and moving it around and using some of the ships that I have will net me enough money so I could bank and then finance excursions into deep space, and also maybe a couple of military campaigns. I have two fighters. I have a Saber and a Super Hornet. So I mean, uh, the upkeep of those ships, combat ships, are very expensive because the risk is extraordinarily high. You know you're going to get damage, and that takes money to repair. So having a constant revenue coming in is important. And also, exploration is expensive too. It's also risky. I'll discuss that in another video. But you want revenue, and I think the chief way to get steady revenue will be to move cargo. And there's various ships to do the job. You can have a small job ships like, say, like the Avenger Titan, or even a Misk core that holds a little bit of cargo. You have the Mustang Alpha that carries a little bit. Of course, the Auroras all carry a little cargo. So I mean, if you want to get some, get the funds rolling first, score some missions that allow you to carry cargoes from point A to point B. And then once you have a little bit of UAC credits put aside, you can actually go into the market, find some good product, maybe some minerals or some raw materials or something. Find a good price for it, put it in the bed, buy it, pack it up, put it in the back of your Taurus or one of your hulls, and ship it elsewhere. And once you get to point B, you're gonna throw it back in the market and sell it at a markup, or sell it to say there's some settlers. Say someone had a pioneer and they built a settlement someplace and they need, I don't know. Um, Say they need sides of bacon. I don't know if we really have bacon in the future like that. But just to say, for example, they may need may need a few hundred like pounds of bacon or something, right? And so you go on the market and find a really good deal on pork bellies, and you buy it on the cheap, pack it up, put it in the back of your cargo ship, and you fly out there and say, hey, I've got your bacon, and you can sell it to them with a little markup. Then there you go. Make yourself the money that you spent on the cargo. You made that back, and some extra change on top of that. So that's how the economy will move forward in this game. So I really do believe that cargo is going to be the backbone of Star Citizen's economy. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so moving along, we're going to go straight into personnel. These are ships that are designed strictly to carry people from point A to point B, be it as a cruise ship, a leisure ship, like the Phoenix or the 600i, or even the 890 Jump. 890 Jump's like it's going to be like a space cruise ship. It's going to be really nice. And it also entails the military transports like the Vanguard Hoplite. Um, this is a lucrative business. I mean, having a transport, a personnel transport, is really good. It's really good money, some good money, because there will always be somebody looking to charter your ship. Let's just say you have some folks who are not explorers, but they want to feel that rush of going into an unknown area, or so they think. And you happen to own an 890 Jump or maybe a Genesis Starliner, and you have detailed star maps because you either bought them on the market or you explored the area yourself and charted these areas, or you got the information from someone in your organization. Well, they can hire you to take them out there and give them the illusion of exploring the great unknown. Take them on tours around nebulae or take them into an asteroid field because believe it or not everybody's going to be flying through asteroid fields like we're doing now. So, I mean, you could really make some good money, especially if you want to transport people from, let's say, ArcCorp and take them to, say, Yella or over to Daymar. Some people might want to go to Levski and hang out for a couple of bars. Just like people go to the Bar Citizens on like once a month just to hang out together. Some people might want to do the same thing, have a Levski getaway or something, and so they may want to hire you to take them out there. Or if you can get hired by, say, a military navy or a military organization, and they want someone to move their troops, move their soldiers from one area to another or from one conflict to another. If you have a Vanguard hoplite, that's a shoe-in deal for you. They can hire you to take their people and drop them into a DMZ. You'll be well armored to handle that kind of job. Or Vanguards are built to go long distances, so you can probably pick people up and take them into hostile territory and make some change, drop them off and fly back. You don't have to stay or do anything else. You just pick them up and drop them off and they pay you. So I mean, transportation is pretty cut and dry. Personnel transportation, I mean, it's simple. It's yeah, I could see this being a very lucrative job. I could see a lot of people doing it. I mean, honestly, it'd be a good side hustle if say you're a miner, and say because your equipment's going to wear down over time. The more you use it, the more it's going to wear down. So eventually, you're going to have to replace your ships. So what if your ships are on cooldown, right? Because if a ship gets destroyed, it's got to go on cooldown, or you pay an increased premium to get it back quicker. Well, let's say your ship's on cooldown, and you still want to make some revenue. Well, if you got a personnel transport. Bam! There you go. You can get right back out there making some extra money while your ship's being replaced. And no interruption in the income, man. I mean, you can't beat that deal. So personnel transport, if that's something you think you'd like to do, I would look into getting one of these ships. I mean, even if you don't want to get something as big as a Genesis or an 890 Jump, you can get something like get a Constellation. A Constellation could hold a few people. I mean, of course, it has a max crew of 4, but that's not to say that you can't put more people in there. They just, be sitting around doing nothing. They'll just be sitting in a lounge area or something like that while you and your crew are handling the ship. So, I mean, you could get one of those and transport people from point A to point B. I mean, certainly the Phoenix, it's going to be more than just a luxury liner. I mean, it's a personnel transport. It could take people from point A to point B. I mean, it can even be a troop transport. Troops can travel in luxury. So it's a good business. It's a good racket. And it could also be kind of crooked too, because you could smuggle people. What if, okay, well, there might be someone who has a crime stat, right? And they're trying to get somewhere. Well, you could try and smuggle them in. But here's the heads up. When that person with a crime stat enters your ship then becomes marked. You may not get a mark, you may not get a crime stat, but your ship then becomes hostile. So keep that in mind if you decide to, hey, I think I'm gonna smuggle this guy in and make some extra coin. You most definitely do that, but remember, once that person's on your ship, you are now marked, which means that you are fair game to the bounty hunters and law enforcement. So remember that. See anything else about the personnel carrier? No, I think that pretty much covers it. But I think the personnel carriers will be really really nice. Especially you can even get a small impov. There's the impov personnel. There's two types. There's the personnel and there's the cargo one. You can get the impov personnel, which is slightly bigger than the cargo one, and you could just stay local because the impovs don't have jump drives, so they can't go very far. They can only stay local. So you can run a little taxi service, right? Pick people up planet-side and then ferry them up to Port Al-Azhar or some orbiting starship and make some change. You can pick them up, drop them off, pick somebody else and drop them off planet-side. That's a nice little hustle too. You don't always have to be out there shooting everybody up or exploring the deepest reaches or risking your life and them mining an asteroid or something. You don't have to always do that. You can. There's so many different ways you could do things you could do with transport. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. Now, here we're talking about information, data transport. Um, this is kind of like along the lines of e-war, electronic warfare, or electronic espionage. Will it necessarily mean stealing data? Not not necessarily. You don't have to. It doesn't always mean you have to steal data, though stealing data is definitely a part of this. You can intercept data transmissions from other sources. You can intercept that. You can save it on hard drives, and you can either keep it for yourself or sell it on a black market or sell it to the military. Or what if there's some kind of government coup going on and you catch wind of it on the wire somewhere and you're able to intercept all of that stuff? Well, that's what you can do. You can intercept that, save it, and sell it. Or you can get missions or requests from corporations to pick up some information, some data, and transport these drives to another facet of their company for security purposes. So they know that they can't transmit this data because it can be intercepted. So they will save this data on hard media, right? And physically transport it from point A to point B, and that will come that and that will call upon the abilities of, say, the Herald. I think the Herald is really going to shine in this department because it's got the speed and it's got the ability to save data and transfer data. So this ship will most likely be able to receive data and transmit it because it has a powerful transmitter, like a satellite dish, almost like a SATA array, and it could. I think it could intercept data. I think it's they say it's designed to receive it and like save it and then send it, but I think it also has the power to intercept too. It can hack into transmission signals, data transmission signals, and get secret information, uh, enemy movements, illegal financial transactions, all kind of cool stuff. Save it on these hard drives so they can dump in the event of an emergency and sell them. Or, like I just said before, physically pick up data in hard media, store it, transport it at a high rate of speed because I think the Herald is probably I don't know if it's the fastest ship, but it's got to be damn near. It's a very, very fast ship, and it can pick up data and zip it on over to another destination and drop it off confidentially. Confidentially. So I mean, I can see corporations offering up missions to Herald owners to come by and pick up some information and deliver it discreetly because the information is super sensitive. There's also it's kind of like well, it'll also work with, say, like the Terrapin, uh, maybe to some degree with the Hornet tracker, because they both have scanners and transmitters, so they could probably pick up stuff and send it. Um, but I think when it really comes down to the data transportation, I think the Herald will be the A1 source for that job. I think that'll be the go-to ship. So that's why I'm focusing mostly on the Herald because that's what it's designed to do. It is a specialized data transport vehicle, and of course, it's built by Interplanetary. So there's this kind of like I hate to say crook kind of thing coming behind it. Say it's designed to take a lot of illegal information and sell it on the black market, but it can go both ways. Information is a double-edged sword. I mean, if it if if the bad guys can use it to make money, so can the good guys. The good guys can use the same information against the bad guys to shut them down. So I mean, Herald pilots are going to find themselves in some really interesting situations. I could tell that right to tell you that right now. You may run a couple of missions where the military, the UEE military may have sent you out with some sensitive information, and it's totally up to you to either deliver it to one of their commands or spirit it away to the enemy, to the pirates or whatever, to the Nine Tails, and then sell it at a high premium. That's totally up to you. But the thing is, once the jig is up, right? If you sell out the information, you get a crime stat, and you'll be probably a very wanted person. So there are repercussions to every action in this game, clearly. So bear that in mind when you decide to, I don't know, I guess to skirt the fence, as it were. So, but yeah, but information. I think information will probably pull in a higher premium than even the most precious cargo, um, because there's just so because information can either make or break a person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if this is corporate information or financial information, and they give you the stuff to transport discreetly to someplace else, and you take that information and you sell it on the black market, you just compromise the corporation. So, and whoever's in charge of that one, they're up shit creek. They're in deep kimchi, man. I mean, and then unfortunately, it'll get back to you. So, but the thing with the Herald is it encrypts all of this information. So you might be able to protect yourself with this encryption system. I don't know how exactly that's going to work out when things go live. But right now the ship is available, and it's a very cool ship. a very fast ship. And FYI, I would not dare try to land a Herald in the PTU 3.0 because I've tried it. It's tragic. Don't do it because it is is horrible in the atmosphere. Oh, it's absolutely horrible in the atmosphere. Okay, but anyway, I digress. So that's the information. Uh, there you go in a nutshell. That's it for the video. I hope that kind of spreads things out a little bit more for you and gives you more detail into the transportation business. There's a lot you could do in there, and there's a whole lot of money to make in that too. Believe it or not, lots of money to make in transportation. So choose what area you want to go into and be damn good at it. Right? Right. Check you in the next video.